Hi, I have a new journal to share with you, a vintage journal. It's a design team project for ScreechOwlStudio for Yvonne, and the kit that I used is Sweet Violets. I used from my own stash papers, ribbon charms, vintage lace and doilies, several things. It's 7.5 tall by 5.5. It has a 1-inch spine and it's chunky, as you can see. You can see I have a beautiful charm and lace and ribbon and trim, chunky tassel here. And the back, there you see that. Its closure is a seam binding and eyelet. And the seam binding I used is from Snug Hug. It has 3 signatures, and they're all sewn in with the 3-hole pamphlet stitch. It's reinforced with Tyvek around here, all the way down, so that it'll be stronger. It has about 102 pages plus, because I don't count envelopes or that are, bound within the pages. I don't count lots of things. I don't count them. I don't count like pieces of paper like this, and I don't count the little envelopes. So we'll go through it just a second. Yeah, I just count real pages, and so there's 101 plus. And like I said, it has 3 signatures, though I don't know if you can see it with all the lace and ribbon I put on it. Okay, I think that's it. I think I got everything. I think I didn't go through all the charms, but you can see there's an umbrella and a beautiful little pearl looking, some leaves, some bling, a hand, a little flower or decorative charm there, some more bling. Yeah, here it is. There's a little boot, an antique or vintage boot. So that's pretty much that, with all the different charms and such. Okay, and it's all in blues and lavenders and whites. I pretty much stuck with that in the kit. I made the cover from a green hanging file folder that I then that I cut to fit. I printed out this page from the kit and this page from the kit, and then I covered them with Page Collage, couple of coats. Then I stitched them onto the cover, both front and back. Then I applied all the lace and the doilies and the bling. This is multiple layers, as you can see. This is the actual image that was on this page, but I printed it out several times and then did the layering and put bling in it. Okay, let's go in. There's the first page. Again, I did the layering here to create a pocket, and underneath you'll see is the same image. So and the story begins, and a journaling card. And this is made out of vellum, this little envelope. I made several envelopes with vellum throughout. I didn't just use vellum, but I used it a lot. So it'll just give you some more little spots to do some secret journaling or write things you want to just tuck away. I did put lace on all the pages, and as you can see on several of the pages down here, and we'll look at that as we go. Okay, little charm. I put a couple of little charms on garment pins from the lace. This is the what I used for the inside lining pages so that you could write on them. All right, I did some printing on fabric, and so this is some muslin. And attached, after I printed it, I put it on an old music. It's either an old page or old music. I can't remember which, but it's pretty old. But I did back it with, and sewed it all onto a piece of cardstock so that it would be really secure. It would stand up to the ins and outs of the use of that pocket. And then there's some vintage, very vintage lace. There's a tag and a journal card inside. Can you see that? Okay. There's the other side of it. sprayed with P.H. Martin, Dr. P.H. Martin, and some Lindy's and some Glimmer Mist. Here's a journaling card from the kit that I just made bigger. Then I did fussy cutting and cut out here to just make it look different. The tags that I gave you all on Junk Journal Junkies chat, this is one of them. So you can see what it looks like when they're printed if you haven't already. And then this is just a page from the kit that I had left over to make into a journaling space. Did some stamping, I did some stenciling, I did a bunch of different things. You'll see them as we go. I used vellum a lot. There's some stenciling and spraying. Here's a little, just a piece of paper I had in my stash that went with the kit, and so I put a little tiny envelope that the pattern of which I got in a rack that somebody sent to me. There's a teeny tiny little, it's a card, because you go, but it's not cardstock, but it's a folded piece of paper that you can write some little secret treasures in. Then here's a tuck spot with a glassine envelope. Inside the tuck is this. So paper from my stash that, and how I make these envelopes, somebody asked me that, did I use a board? I did for this one. This one I just printed out the paper and used the envelope board to make it. But the other ones I've made in here, I have a graphics program or a design program that I use, and I just bring the template up, make it, the inside go away, and I bring up the image in it. This is on vellum. Yvonne has such beautiful, beautiful papers in this kit. Here's another little pocket that I don't know, it's like a little booklet that she made. I put some lace, and inside is I downsized some tags and some journaling cards. And these come in the kit, and that's made out of vellum. The center of the first signature, there's your hearts on a string. And there's a little pocket with some beautiful lace and some trim. This is a vellum envelope, and inside some more journaling paper. I'm trying to keep this one short, so I'm trying not to talk too much, but gosh, anyway. Here's another little journaling card that I made into a pocket. There's another tag, a card, and then I took some of that paper, printed out some vellum, some of the elements from the kit, and just made little booklets from the leftover scraps of paper that I had. Look at that. Did some stamping. This has got Glimmer Mist all over it. It's really sparkly. Some stamping. There's some more of the paper. Here's some stenciling. Here's a belly band from the kit. I made this envelope, and inside, and you could take it out, but I'm saving time here. There you go. Got lots of journaling space in here. Can you see the sparkle? She's printed on watercolor paper and another little booklet. And then down here, there's another spot to do some journaling in. And it tucks right into these. These also came in the kit. Another charm, a little leaf. Another tuck spot. You can see there's some old vintage lace that I found at a thrift store. There's a big tag. This is vellum. Here's another one of the little leftover pieces of paper that I made into a card, or a journaling spot envelope. There you go. You can see I did use Martha Stewart on some corners. And there's lots of stenciling, spraying, and stamping. Shiny, shiny. Another little tuck spot, did a little stamping. Okay, I printed on some heavy fabric I found at a thrift store. It was kind of yellowish, creamy off-whitish, thicker than muslin. I'm not sure what you'd call it other than it was cotton. So I printed on it and frayed out the edges, did some stitching around, put some pretty colored back behind here, a little bit of vintage lace and some trim. I thought that was a fun element, and it's got, thread hanging off of it as well. Here's another one of the little spots where you can do, and there's the name of the kit. And inside and peeking out, there's another little spot where you can do some journaling. The gal from the kit printed on the same paper. This is also watercolor. This is printed on vellum, and then I used stickles. Yep, it's all falling out. This is the second time I've done this video, in case you wondered. There's a tag, the tuck spot with vellum on the front. Center of the second signature, I made a little tuck spot with some hearts from the kit, and downsized these little pretty cards and the little tag to put in here. In the center of this signature, there's some more hearts on a string. I did some embossing and then just inked it and then fussy cut it out. I took a page from the kit and downsized it in my graphics program and printed it out on vellum, so it made a pretty little booklet for you. Even has some tracing paper in there for the crinkle. And on this side, another little pocket with a tag and another one of the little booklets with the vellum on the front. So there's all different colors in there of leftover pieces of paper. Okay, here's another place where I used a piece of cardstock under this sheet to make it more bulky and hold. And then this is printed on the same paper that I print, which is the Red River photo paper, matte photo paper. Here's a tag, and it's the only one I put lace on, but I thought that was pretty. This is a page from the kit that I just printed out on cardstock to make a little tuck, to put this in the tuck spot. Lots of pretty doilies. Another tuck spot with a tag from the kit. And another little envelope with some more pretty little papers. This one's almost like a ticket. There you go. It's another little gal that I made. Again, printed on that heavy muslin. I left some threads after I sewed on it and put some pretty little, I inked the edges of these little rosettes. Put a garment pin on with a leaf. There's some vintage lace here. And she's in this pretty glassine bag with the lace on it. There's another pocket from the kit. Or actually, it's a journaling card from the kit that I made larger. There's a gal that I found that I thought looked pretty in here. And now we're into the third and final signature. Another pocket that I made, printed on regular muslin. Its backing is cardstock again so that it's sturdy for a pocket, but I sewed it on to some vintage music that Carrie sent me. She's such a sweetheart. Anyway, the copyright, I know the book was in the late 40s or early 50s that I took this out of, and the song was copyrighted in 1942. In the pocket, there you go. Another pocket. I stamped on some, oh, I can't think what you call it. Anyway, I didn't stamp. It's printed on vellum, or muslin, some trim. I stained some Hug Snug seam binding and frayed the edges a little bit. So there's just a pretty little card for that one. And it's in another lacy little pocket bag. Another one of these little spots where you can do some journaling. Sweet violets. And some tags. A tag and a journaling card. When I was printing out all the pictures of the little girls and some of the other stuff that I printed out, the pockets and such, I also wrote this out. I typed out vintage. I put several of them. I sewed around that one. Not all of them made it in the book. Here's a new stamp I got. Dream big, be yourself, and remember to sparkle. So I sparkled up the sparkle. There's a cute little, another little, it's like a tag pocket, and it's got a little tuck spot in it. So I put in a tag and another little booklet, a little bit different. And back here is another page from the kit for more journaling. Isn't that beautiful? Okay, there's the title of the kit again. This is printed on vellum, and the paper here has been really heavily sprayed with the Glimmer Mist Pearl. There's your hearts on a string. Some lace with some more of that pretty trim that I carried throughout the book, or the journal. So there's vellum and a vellum pocket. There's your closure back there, and it's, if I can get it out, there you go. This is from Graphic 45. I think it's from Secret Garden. There's a tag and a journaling spot. I didn't stamp this, but if you put in a request, if you purchase this journal, then I would be happy to stamp there for you with one of my vintage stamps or something that I have. A new stamp I got, Live Simply. Here's another one of the pretty little belly bands that Yvonne included in the kit. Put my violets there and some of this pretty paper. Another little envelope with some paper inside for you to do some journaling on. Another little tuck spot. I put some more lace down here, some more vintage lace. So I think there's 4 of them. Yeah, 4 pieces. There's 2 of these and 2 of this one that I cut off. Okay, and in this little tuck spot is a card. And another envelope with some of the sprayed paper on it this time. Anyway, let's stop that. And the last little pocket here is another of the cards from Graphic 45. And here I used a vintage hanky. I've had it for many years. I'm not even sure if it was my mom's or... Anyway, I cut off a corner. It was hard to do. I put some vintage lace here. It's some crocheted lace. There's a piece of vintage lace. I believe it's vintage. I got it from a thrift store, so I'm pretty sure it is. Anyway, this for sure is vintage lace. I put a garment pin with a, you can see this heart lock and a little gold key down here. And she's just plain on the back. So that you can write what you want. That's the back cover and the last page. Again, this kit was a real pleasure to work with, and I'm always thrilled when Yvonne asks me to do a DT project. This was fun. The Sweet Violets will be listed in my Etsy shop. The link will be down below, as well as a link to Yvonne's shop. If you have any questions, please never hesitate to ask me. I love to answer your questions. And I love to read your comments, and I love it when you like it. If you're not a sub yet, I hope you will consider it. Thanks for stopping by. Bye-bye now.